This worksheet is simply practice. If you are struggling with the distance formula and you are struggling to figure out the types of triangles, I want you to use this worksheet to help you practice. I'm not collecting it. This is simply for you. So this video will take you through a couple of problems. All right, I'm going to start with side JK. Then I'm going to do JL. Then I'm going to do KL. So I've got my three sections for my three equations. All right, X, Y, I'm going to do JK, so I'm taking my X's, 4 minus 2 squared, my Y's, negative 7 minus 2 squared. This becomes 2 squared plus negative 9 squared. Square root bar. Square root of 4 plus 81 equals the square root of 85. Leave it there. You do not need to put it in decimal form. The square, keeping it as the square root of 85 is completely legitimate, so leave it. All right, let's do the next one. I'm going to do JL. So 0 minus 2 plus negative 7 minus 2 gives me negative 2 squared plus negative 9 squared. There's my square root bar. Equals the square root of 4 plus 81 equals the square root of 85. So now you know this is either isosceles or equilateral. You know it's not scaling because you already have two sides that have the same measure. So let's do KL. 0 minus 4 squared plus negative 7 minus negative 7. This gives me negative 4 squared plus 0, which is the square root of 16, equals 4. All right, I have two sides that are congruent, so this is an isosceles. Oops, didn't spell it right. It's a tough one to spell. All right. Please, because only two sides are congruent. So that's what you're going to be doing for each triangle. Each triangle is different. This is just good practice, all right? So again, I will do them. It is up to you how many you want to do. So I'm going to do AB, AC, and BC. If I write out which sides I'm doing, it helps me keep my coordinate points straight. So AB is 2 minus negative 3 squared plus 4 minus 0 squared. So 2 minus negative 3 is 2 plus 3. That's 5 squared plus 4 squared, which is the square root of 25 plus 16 equals the square root of 41. Leaving it there. And I'll tell you something else. If you try to do decimals, you're going to get sides that may be off by, I don't know, 0.0003. So that's why when you keep it in square roots, you can tell if they are identical or not. All right, so AC, 2 minus negative 3 squared plus negative 2 minus 0 squared. That is 2 plus 3. It's 5 squared plus negative 2 squared. Square root of 25 plus 4, square root of 29. Last one, BC. A little less room on the paper, but it'll work. 2 minus 2 squared plus negative 2 minus 4. Well, this is 0 squared plus negative 6 squared. Square root of 36 equals 6. All three sides are different, so this is scaling. All right, let's go to the next page. Okay, different color because I get bored. Let's do, I'm going to do JK, then JL, then KL. This is simply the order I do them. You can do them any order you want. Alrighty, JK, 0 minus 1 squared plus 2 minus negative 3 squared. 1 squared plus 2 minus negative 3 ends up being 5. So the square root of 1 plus 25 is the square root of 26. Remember, if you're putting negative numbers into your calculator to find the square, you may want to put them in parentheses first because the square is always positive. So if you're getting a negative number, you're putting it in the calculator wrong. JL, negative 4 minus 1 plus negative 3 minus negative 3. Yeah, make sure I line them up right. Negative 5 squared plus negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Square root of 25 equals 5. Okay, so KL, negative 4 minus 0 plus negative 3 minus 2 gives me the square root of negative 4 squared plus negative 5 squared. Square root of 16 plus 25 equals the square root of 41. And look, all three are different. Scaling, because all three have different measurements. DE, then I'm going to do EF, then I'm going to go DF. So DE, 5 minus 0 squared plus 1 minus negative 3 squared. 5 squared plus 4 squared. Square root of 25 plus 16. We're seeing this one a lot. Square root of 41. We'll leave it. EF. 5 minus 5 squared. Negative 7 minus 1 squared gives me square root of 0 squared minus or plus negative 8 squared. Square root of 64 is 8. DF, 5 minus 0 squared, negative 7 minus negative 3. 5 squared plus, this ends up being negative 4 squared. 25 plus 16 equals the square root of 41. This one is isosceles. Because two sides have the same measurement. All right, one more problem. And I'll go back. PQ, QR, and PR. PQ, negative 5 minus 3 and 0 minus 6. So negative 8 squared plus negative 6 squared. Square root of 64 plus 36 is the square root of 100, which equals 10. You should be able to recognize perfect squares. All right, QR. 3 minus negative 5 plus negative 4 minus 0. Well, 3 minus negative 5 is 3 plus 5, so that's 8 squared plus negative 4 squared, which is square root of 64 plus 16, square root of 80. Leave it. Last one, PR. 3 minus 3 squared plus negative 4 minus 6 squared. Square root of 0 squared plus negative 10 squared. Square root of 100 equals 10. Isosceles, because two sides have the same measurements. There you go. So here's your key. If you want to do the work, I've attached it.